All right, well, welcome to the first of what may very well be many webinars that we run for the IFBF due to the COVID-19 stuff. I hope that you're all managing, doing well, staying safe, obviously, and haven't killed your kids yet. So anyway, today's webinar is on some of the top hacks that I have used in my business for communicating with clients, and I've got some slides to go through. So sit back, chill out, take some notes. Obviously in the chat box, if you want to hit me up with questions, there will be some time for Q&A at the end. So yeah, please put any questions you might have in there. And then what I'll do is I might give everyone the option to unmute themselves to ask a question at the end. So right now I've got full control, and I'll be in control of the sound. So let's get started. So here we go. So today's web event, I'm going to cover off why communication is important. I mean, obviously that's kind of a no-brainer. I think we all know that communication is super important for our clients. How we currently are communicating, and then what if we had a better way to communicate with clients? And then I'm going to share with you some top hacks that I use to add value to my business and to my community. And I think hopefully you'll see some value in that as well. So why do we communicate? Well, obviously we communicate because we want to convey certain types of information. First of all, a lot of us do it. We've got a lot of those automated newsletters and things that go out. We got to let our clients know that we're still here. So it's real important that we check into our clients. We let them know we're here. We let them know what we do as well. That's another key thing, key reason why we communicate. Because if you just write a home loan, as we say this a lot, at the IFBF meetings in particular, if you're just contacting a client one time and it's for the transaction that you're doing, and then you don't ever communicate with them again, what's the likelihood of them coming back to you to do business? Zarko gave a great presentation on that last year about communicating with the client, and the more you communicate, the more likely that client is to come back to you. But we also convey information. So right now, particularly with what's going on in the world and in Australia, and especially in our world of finance, there is a lot of really important stuff that we have to tell our clients. I'm not sure if you guys have seen all of the recent Treasury announcements from Treasury with all the programs and things that are coming out, but that's some really important information that we should be conveying to our clients, particularly our business clients. But as things continue to roll out, I'm sure we'll have other bits and pieces of information that we need to give to our normal clients as well, to just our moms and dads who aren't business people. Finally, we got to remind people of what we do. So if you are, for example, if you are a broad finance broker, that you do resi, commercial, you do a little asset finance, you might do some cash flow stuff or whatever, you need to certainly tip that client off again that, hey, you do other stuff just besides maybe that home mortgage that you wrote for the client. It's astounding to me when I speak with my own clients that some of them don't know even that I'm a financial planner. It's just, I just don't understand how they wouldn't know that because of all the communication I put out there. But certainly it never hurts to, to remind them of what you actually do. And it could very well be that you need to communicate, especially right now, as I alluded to earlier, there's some new Treasury announcements and things that have come out. You need to potentially tell them about some offers or other specials or other really important pieces of information that are out there. Now, I'm not sure you guys are probably all getting the emails and things from all of our lenders about some of these ridiculously low rates, some of the fixed rates and other things that are being offered now by lenders to help with preserving, I guess, stimulating the economic environment, but certainly helping clients navigate these troubling waters. I suppose at the end of the day, what you do is you add value to the relationship. And what that means is, of course, you are demonstrating to the client that you have value to give to them. And I suppose from that point of view that they are a valued part of the relationship as well. So they add value to you. But really it's important, I think, for all of us to make sure that we are demonstrating to our clients that we add value. And now more than ever, especially with the best interest duty stuff and the new law changes coming out, where the broking community will be have a different set of rules, if you will, than the banks. So that right there is one of those things that is super important to communicate. Now I've just got a message here from Gail. Can I put my screen on full screen? It should be on full screen, Gail. Is everyone else, just quickly check in, everyone else can see the full screen, or are there any issues with seeing the PowerPoint? Okay, everyone's okay with full screen, Gail. It might just be a setting at your end. So everyone else seems to be checking in that we're okay. Good, and you're all alive too. I haven't lulled anyone to sleep yet. All right, I love this webinar stuff. Cool, let's kick on. So we all know that there are the traditional methods of communication. We've all been using them. We all know what they are. And I'll just remind you, we call our clients. This is probably one of the most preferred methods, giving someone a call, checking in, saying, how's it going? Having that, probably 2-minute phone call that turns into a, 30 or 40-minute phone call. I'm certainly finding that at the moment is happening to me. I know we all rely on email a heck of a lot. So emails, super important. It's almost, I think now, overkill with email, with all of the crap that we get in our inboxes every day. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly can't go through all of it. And sadly, a lot of things get missed. Finally, and this is probably, how our industry got started and why we're such a powerful force for good in the finance community, and that's because we're committed to the face-to-face, and our clients, I think, in large part love that, right? But sadly, especially now, all of these communication styles have some limitations, right? You can only talk to one person on the phone. You can only, read so many emails or type so many emails at once. And obviously, with a face-to-face, you can only see 1 or 2 people at once, and perhaps you can run group seminars and things like that. But even the face-to-face method is now going to be potentially severely restricted because of COVID-19 and what that means. So I think that there is a much more efficient and powerful way to communicate. And what if you knew what those were? Now, I dare say as we go through this, that some of you will be familiar with the stuff that I'm going to talk about, but maybe you don't know exactly how to use it or implement it in your business. And that's what we're going to cover off. And so I firmly believe that these communication methods that I'm going to cover today, the 3 hacks that I'm going to give you, will actually differentiate you from 99% of the rest of the broking community. I really do not get a sense, and I've asked a lot of brokers whether they're using these methods. Now, I'm sure some are probably using maybe one of them, but if you are able to get all 3 up and running in your business, I think you will certainly be in the top of the top of the top in our profession. So what's the first one? Well, it's actually what we're using right now. We are on Zoom and we are running a webinar, but I use Zoom a lot in my business. And I start off with this because obviously with the current situation, with us not really being able to meet with people, I suppose we shouldn't be doing that. I'm sure that some people still are, but we shouldn't be doing that because of the risks. Zoom, and you could put other things in there as well. You could use Skype or you could use some of those others, but I prefer Zoom because I just have found that it's an easy platform to navigate. It is a fantastic online video conferencing tool, and it is very easy to use Zoom. You can record your meetings, you can do screen shares as I've done just now to share a PowerPoint presentation, but you can share everything and anything on your computer and run clients through stuff. So super, super powerful. And the one thing I love about Zoom is it means that in a sense, I don't have to do any file notes, because if I've recorded the presentation or the conversation that I've had with clients, it just means, like we're doing today, this now lives forever. You know, as soon as I put this, we put this out on the internet, on the World Wide Web, it's there in perpetuity and can't be destroyed, and it will, you know, always be in some dark corner of the internet somewhere. In 300 years, if we're all still alive, someone will probably still be able to watch a meeting that I held, or this webinar that we held here in 2020. I suppose, what happened here? I think I'm out of order on a slide. Anyway, that's okay. I suppose one of the key benefits, I think, to using Zoom is that you are in person. So if we consider right at the moment that we are all in a very, you know, a different part of Sydney, we're in our living room or our offices or what have you, but we can all come together on this platform and see each other, even though I'm sure most of you have your video turned off, and I've certainly got you all on mute, but we'll open that up in a minute. But it's, again, just a fantastic tool for that. Now, oh, here we go. So that's the slide I was looking for. So key benefits, your person is supposed to just on the phone, right? People can see you. You can express yourself. You can use tone and intonation and expressions. Use your, you know, your face, smile at them, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So it's super important. As I mentioned, you can record it and store it as a sound file or a video file. I think those are really important. And yes, there's going to be a bonus. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you a bonus hack. So if I haven't lulled you to sleep yet, then do stick around until the end for the bonus hack. But just to summarize Zoom, if you're not using it, very powerful tool. It has a free version, but you can actually jump in there and pay extra, which I do, to be able to do things like webinars and so forth. So hack number 2. Now, this particular hack, I absolutely love it. And I picked it up at a couple of years ago at a conference. I think it was, I want to say down in Melbourne. It might have been at a Connective. It could have been MFAA, something like that. I'm not sure. But this hack, guys, is awesome. And it is LOOM. And if you're not familiar with LOOM, then I suggest at the end of this webinar, you get yourself onto the web, you look up LOOM, and you set yourself up an account. This will skyrocket your relationship with your clients, and I'm going to take you through what that looks like. So LOOM is a video capture tool. So you can record a video, and you can choose to either record your screen only, you can record just your camera, so just so they see your face, or you can record both. And what this does is it really stops you from having to write all of these ridiculously long emails with a bunch of detail in them. I don't know about you, but you know, I read about probably the first 2 or 3 lines of an email, and if it doesn't capture me or it's not interesting, then I tend to, you know, not read the rest. But a video is a different story because you engage the client. You are there again with the tone, with the passion, with the, you know, the confidence, with the convincing that you'll offer that client as to why they should do something. And the way I use this is basically you're able to show your clients what you're talking about. So this is just, that's a great screenshot. JJ did this presentation for me, so I look like I'm surprised at the moment there in that video. But anyway, I do a lot of video on what's going on in the stock market. And so I can show people my screen, and I dance around to a lot of different slides, and I show them charts, and I show them all sorts of things. And I suppose, as I said a moment ago, I get very animated when I'm talking about that stuff. So there's another video that I did about Friday the 13th. And so I have found this one tool. I have gotten so many comments and feedback from clients saying to me, love the videos, you explain everything really well, I understand what you're talking about. And I suppose it gives your clients the opportunity as well, if you're doing a video, to go back and replay it. So I know many of you on this webinar are likely to be finance brokers, and that may be your only business. So imagine if, what if you went through all of the stuff we have to go through. You went through, you know, the funding comparison, the products that you're suggesting, and did a 5-minute video on why, you know, you're recommending XYZ bank over another bank and or another lender, and actually convincing that client as you're doing that to the way forward for them. Now, as I said earlier, if you do this and you use Loom to present lending options or even just respond to questions from a client. So I get this all the time. Client says, you know, can you just explain to me why we're, you know, buying XYZ, you know, stock position or whatever. And I explain that to the client, and they sit there and they go, wow, that's really cool. I never thought of it that way, or you've explained it really well. This is the key differentiator, ladies and gentlemen. 99% of our colleagues aren't using video. I guarantee it. And right away, if you are in competition with another broker and they send some bullshit ass long email, sorry, Chaplain, I probably shouldn't curse on this because again, it's going to be out in perpetuity, forever on the internet. But if they send some long email with a bunch of attachments and a bunch of crap, what are the odds that client is going to actually go through all of that? Pretty low, right? Because how many of us have to deal with all the questions that people ask? Oh, I don't understand what this form is, or whatever. But what if you explained all of that in the video? Now, it doesn't automatically guarantee that that client's going to, you know, watch the whole video, I suppose. But it is the newest and best form of engagement that I have seen to actually communicate with the client. And I think that's super, super important. So that's hack number 2. I reckon that's a great hack. I'm just going to pause for a moment and have a sip of my Java here real quick. So on my 3rd cup of coffee this morning, if you can't tell, I'm pretty pumped up and fired up. It is Friday, so very exciting. I'm just going to check the chat here and make sure that everybody can still hear me. I've got a couple messages. Give me a second. I'm just going to see what... Dinty, yeah, funny. Zed's there. Okay. Cool. All right. Moving on to my 3rd hack. Now, this is probably a slightly more advanced hack that will require you to work with someone like Delec or someone that does your digital marketing and stuff, but not necessarily. You could probably do this on your own. And this hack is, if my screen will go, there we go, is to create a private Facebook community. Mine is called the Boardroom. And this is a fantastic way for you to communicate with clients because I suppose there are a number of benefits of a Facebook group. The first is that there's some exclusivity around it. So could you imagine in your business, if you said to your clients, I have a special Facebook group that's called whatever you want to call it. You can call it the Boardroom. Why not? There's no, I don't have a, you know, a patent on that name. And you said, I'm inviting you to that. And in this special Facebook group, I put notices on what's going on in the market. There's video content for you to consume. You can, you know, pose questions to clients. You can have them answer surveys, all of this sort of thing. You can just build up that momentum so that the Boardroom, or whatever you choose to call it, that Facebook group, is a place where they go to get information. Now, it will take some time, and it's certainly something that isn't, you know, the day you turn this on is not the day that, you know, 100 of your clients jump in there and go, oh, this is the best thing in the world. Hooray, I'm so glad you did this. It will take time for you to build towards it. But as I said, in your business, it creates a little bit of exclusivity, and your clients will be like, wow, nobody else does this for me, right? How many other mortgage brokers have this? Or how many other financial planners have this? Not too many. Now, obviously, you'll have to do some content. You'll have to put some stuff in there, but it's a great way for you to communicate with your clients. It's an easy way to put out information, right? So I do updates. Loom is, again, my go-to on that because it's so darn easy to use. I put out stuff. As you can see, this is one of my recent ones. I don't know what the day, 25th. Yeah, so there you go. I've put out a lot of information about specific stuff going on in the market. You can do the same thing about what's going on in the mortgage market. I actually think it is better than a newsletter. I think it's better than regular email communication. That's my opinion, but the reason I say that is because it's timely and it's very current. If you think about maybe the, newsletter information, that stuff, is produced for us, and it's, by the time it goes out, it might be old news. Emails, again, who reads that stuff? Like, they're getting right now, can you imagine the amount of shit that people are getting in their email boxes on email? They are probably overtired trying to deal with that stuff, but they see a video from you in their email potentially, or they see the video in the exclusive group that they're in. What's the likelihood that that person is going to consume that? So I personally think that video messaging is just the way for you to enhance the experience of the client dealing with you and the communication that you provide them. It gives you the capability, as you can see in this post. I did a post on Super Bowl Monday, and I was super excited about it because I had it was relevant to me, right? I'm from Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It was a big deal. And I did a market update, and then, I buggered off and went and watched the Super Bowl. But in any case, that's, it gives you the ability to be a little bit more personal and fun even with clients. So those are the top 3 hacks that I've used in my business. And I just want to pause for a moment. Again, I might have another drink of the Java here, and maybe give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions in the chat. Let me just open up the chat and see if we got any questions in here, and then I'll get to my bonus hack. So let's see here. From Graham, doesn't Zoom do those features of Loom? To be honest, Graham, I am not entirely sure if Zoom does. It's not as easy to use. So what Zoom does is certainly it does record, and you have the capability to do many of the functions that you do in Loom, but Loom is not a platform for doing webinars and things like that. It's just a video recording tool. So it doesn't actually enable webinars and things of that nature. And I have found with Loom that once I record a video, I get a URL, I can edit it and do a few things on the URL, and then I can drop it into Facebook, as you see here, this example, Facebook. And Facebook, I don't know how the technology works exactly, but Facebook just grabs it, puts this little video thing in there, and it just works. So I've never tried that with the Zoom, but Zoom's just a different style of platform. But Loom is awesome. Yeah, simpler sounds good. No worries, Matt. Okay, I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seat waiting for the bonus hack. And we still have 26 participants. I'm impressed. This is awesome, guys. Thanks for sticking around and giving me 30 minutes or 45 minutes of your day. I'm sure we're all going a bit stir crazy, and the sound of another human's voice is probably just what we needed on a Friday. All right, so here's a bonus hack, ladies and gentlemen. It is Calendly. Now, I'm sure many of you have probably come across Calendly. It is a calendar scheduling tool that gives your clients access to your calendar. Now, I believe that what this does for a business is it drives efficiency. So one of the things that I have done is, and I'll just show you here, what I've done in my boardroom, right? Again, this is that exclusivity piece. In my boardroom, I have pinned to the top of the Facebook feed thingy in the boardroom in this case, I guess it's a 30-minute booking tool. So what they do is they click on this and they get into my calendar and they can book themselves in for an appointment. Now, this is just one way that you can use Calendly, but you integrate that with Facebook and all of that, and you just obviously open up your calendar so that people can see things. You can schedule times that you want to be available, times that you're unavailable, days that you're available or unavailable. It is absolutely fantastic, and it allows you to leverage, I think, your time. So what I've started to do in my business is I've said to people, they ring me up or they email me, can we have a chat? And I say, yeah, sure. Just jump into Calendly. Here's a link. And you can email them the link as well. But I say, jump in the boardroom, because most of my clients, again, are on the boardroom. I say, jump in the boardroom, go to the top of the feed, and book yourself in. Now, the interesting thing about this, right, is you weed out the people that are just wanting to have a call and a whinge at you about something, and the people that actually have a serious, thing that they want to discuss. So I'd say my hit rate on people booking in an appointment, if I get, say, 10 people saying, can we schedule a call? And I say, yeah, sure, no problem, jump into Calendly. I probably get 3 or 4 that actually end up doing it. Now, maybe that's good or bad, I don't know, but it's probably, again, my view would be that it's people probably think about what their question is and go, well, do I really need to know? Is this something I really need PJ's time for or not? Furthermore, what it shows is that you respect their time and they should respect your time. And I think, especially now in this day and age, people just, they just think they should be able to pick up the phone, get you on the phone and have a chat to you. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. We are professionals and we should be treated with the respect of our time, the same way that I'm sure when you go to an appointment at someone's house, you turn up, 5 minutes early, you confirm the appointment with them, all that sort of stuff. And I think people should show us a similar level of respect. But this tool, guys, is awesome. And it is a little bit, I don't know, I want to say fiddly, but it took me a little bit to get used to using it and to kind of make it work, but it's certainly doable. All of these tools, by the way, have so many video tutorials and things like that on their websites to help you navigate. As most of you know, I also have a digital marketing guy offshore, JJ, who is my digital marketing guru and handles all this stuff for me. So it could be something that you look to outsource or get a part-time resource, somebody that you find on Upwork or whatever, to help you in your business and to drive that efficiency. So for those of you on the call today that are not members of the IFBF, and I know we had a few that registered, I wanted just to say to you guys, thank you first of all for joining us. It's awesome that you are looking at our email communication that goes out. Hopefully you're attending some of our meetings. But I just wanted to say, please consider joining the group. Like, this is the kind of value that we deliver to our membership on an ongoing basis. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. Maybe even continue to do these webinars. If it's something you guys like, then we'll keep doing that. Now, I have talked for a while, and I'd love to open things up for Q&A. So I'm just going to grab my chat, and I'm going to enable you. I'm going to give you guys some power now. I'm going to enable you, if I can find the thing, manage participants, here we go. I'm going to enable you to take yourself off mute and to, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and ask a question. So let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. Anyone have any questions? Stunned silence. I can't believe it.
Hello, Philip.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Who's this?
This is Anil.
Hi, Anil.
Yeah. I got a question that how many, if you want to do the conference, so how many people you can add in on the Zoom?
I think it depends on how much you pay them, right? So I think the current Zoom subscription that I've got allows me about 100. And if I wanted to do more than that, I would have to pay them a little bit more money. And here we go. Sam is saying free for 100 people for 40 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, I think, I don't know what I pay them. It's not a lot of money, but I think if you just pay a bit more money, you get to do more with it. I suppose if you were going to be doing like super huge webinars and stuff, you might want to look at a GoToMeeting or something that's maybe a slightly more robustly designed webinar or web event platform. But Zoom's pretty good, I've found, for what I need in my business.
But can you, like, obviously you can't share the video on 100 people on your screen, but how many people you can share the video on the screen?
Share the video on their screen. Do you mean seeing their?
I can see the 4 screen on my screen at the minute.
Sure.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So is it the 4? I think that is the usual 4 people you can see on the screen, or?
I think it depends on some setting. So if you wanted to see, everybody there, I believe that's definitely possible. I just don't. I've never had a 50 people in a webinar before. I think you do something like a grid. There's a setting where you go to a grid video, and then it shows you, everybody that's in there, and then I suppose, depending upon the number of people, if you have to blow it up and it shows you everybody, but there's a way if you just had that bar at the top of your Zoom, you can scroll across and see who's there. But as you've seen from this presentation, the best thing to do is mute everybody and have control over that, and then allow them at a certain point of the webinar or web event to then go and unmute themselves and ask questions. Because otherwise, what happens is if everybody's unmuted, you know, somebody's in a car, somebody got a dog barking in the background. At this, you know, particular moment in time, kids are running around making racket and stuff, and so you don't want to have all that feedback going through the presentation.
Thank you.
No worries. So you might just mute yourself, guys, once you've asked a question. Who's asking a question? Sounds like Mickey Mouse. I can't hear you too well. I can hear you, but I can't quite catch who this is. Is it Gail? Can't hear you. Your internet connection must be a bit unstable. Gail, do you save these communications against contacts in your CRM? Yes, great question, Gail. Marvin the Martian. It is Marvin the Martian, Sam. Yes, so that's a great question, Gail. So do I save these communications against contacts? Absolutely. So I don't necessarily put it in my CRM per se. What I actually do is I have a whole file structure where I keep all of the information on the cloud in, what do I use? Dropbox. So absolutely, every communication that I have with a client on Zoom, even if I do a Loom video, I'll often save that to the file. One of the cool things about Loom, and I'll just exit, I'll just see if I can exit full screen here and just show you guys actually my desktop. Let me share that and see if this works. Let me see here. Are you guys seeing my desktop? Or have we come off the Big Lori? Yep, you'll be able to see this stuff. Okay, so if you guys are seeing my screen, hopefully you are at the moment. I think I've shared it. I'll just do new share again. Yeah, it should be going on full screen. I've got 327 videos right now stored in Loom, right? And I'm adding more and more videos every day because of stuff that I'm sending. And what I do is I have them sort of referenced, or I'll have a client name if it's a specific conversation, if it's something to do with you know, an update on something or whatever. That's how I'll use that. Great, especially because of best interest duty. Yep. Do you then need to make your Dropbox available to compliance auditors? Matt, I would never ever make my Dropbox available to compliance auditors. I suppose, Graham, if they needed a file, what I could do is share that specific file in Dropbox to them, or if they wanted to get you know, a set of compliance documents or something, I could just drop those into a specific file for that compliance officer. But I would never ever give anybody carte blanche to sniff around my stuff, if that makes sense. All right, other questions, guys? Anything else? Now's your chance. Now's your chance. Did you guys hit me up in the comments? Did you get some value out of this today, guys? IFBFers and members, as well as non-members. Did you enjoy that? Was it useful? Was it helpful? Thank you, Dave. Thanks, Sam. Maybe just hit me up and tell me what's the top thing you learned today? What do you think you'll immediately go out and do in your business right now, like today? Because I want you guys to commit to doing something today, because we all know we're sitting at home, right? Kind of restricted from what we do. So we got Loom, yep. Lori, good one. Loom, absolutely, guys. I tell you what, here's the thing, right? And one thing I want to say about Loom is you're going to feel weird. Like, you know, I got the headphones on. It look like I'm in a cockpit, right? I'm a pilot or something. You're going to feel a bit weird watching yourself recording videos. The cool thing is if you don't like it, you just delete it, right? You stop it, delete it, go again. But practice it. And the thing too is your clients, they know you, right? You're communicating in for the most part, with people that know you, and they know what you're like, they know your personality. And this is a great format. Loom is a great format, video and so forth. It's a great format to express yourself and to, again, show that passion and that confidence, or even vulnerability, whatever, right? I mean, people love that stuff. You can't do that in an email, right? Because how many times do you read an email and you go, geez, that guy was treating me like I'm a dipshit, right? But the reality is you weren't. Anyway, okay, what do we got? Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Loom seems to be a popular one. Yes, guys, you'll love Loom. Absolutely love it. Yep, it's so Anil, it's actually using Zoom and Calendly. So Zoom is your platform to do a communication with a client, or it could be Skype, or it could be GoToMeeting or something like that. But it's Zoom and Calendly. That's the two. Lori, how do you watch this again? We're going to be, or I will be posting all of this content on our members section of the IFBF. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping you're a member. If not, then here's your chance to do that. Let me see here. Lots of stuff firing through thick and fast. Let's see. Okay, cool. Fantastic, guys. Any other questions about any of the specific? Lori, yeah, fantastic. So yeah, you'll see the full prezzo. I'll get JJ to just package it up and chuck it in the member section, probably over the next couple of days, over the weekend. With long emails. Yep. Yes, Gail, absolutely. Long emails. Who likes to read that stuff? Nobody. Nobody. Guys, one of the tricks that I've used, I'll just quickly share this with you, and then we can wrap it up. One of the things I've started to do is send a client a video response to a question they've asked me on email. So how cool is this, right? Client goes, hey, PJ, can you explain to me why you've recommended, your manager, as an example, Rocco, my buddy Rocco from Your Manager, why you've recommended Your Manager over some other bank or some other lender. And I can fire back, instead of, again, typing out some crapola email that somebody's going to half read, right? I can jump on the screen and I can say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, Your Manager is one of the best mortgage managers in Australia. They're competitive. They have a great credit department. They will get back to us fast. And this is the reason that I've got to use Your Manager, because you need to have that approval or pre-approval before you go to auction in 2 weeks. Does that make sense? And somebody's going to get that email, that video, and go, boom, I'm in, right? Sign me up, done. No questions asked, right? But if you're trying to do that back and forth on email, like seriously, just nail it in 1 or 2 minute video convo. Cool. Any other quick questions, guys, before we wrap it up? Hey, Rock, I got your back, buddy. Okay, if anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask something, please do so. Otherwise, we have done very well. That's about a 35, 40-minute webinar. I'm impressed that still have 25 participants hanging in there. I'm still not sure who this is, but your sound is, you sound like Mickey Mouse. Maybe if you could drop the thing into the chat. Okay, so Graham is asking in the next meeting online. Great question. So yeah, we'll just see who what the issues are with the COVID thing and whether we'll be allowed to meet. At this stage, the IFBF has not made any major call on that as yet, but we'll certainly give everyone plenty of notice to be sure. Okay, guys, awesome. Thank you so much for spending your allocated IFBF time with me today. I really appreciate it. On behalf of the IFBF and everyone on our steering committee, I just want to say thank you. Please get out there. Don't be depressed. Do some, take action today. Do something that's going to be useful for your business. Learn these 3 things that I've shared with you today, and get out there, write some business, and kill it. Your clients need you right now more than ever. Reach out to them, let them know that you're here, and let them know that you can help them. Guys, thank you all so much. I look forward to the next encounter with us at a physical IFBF meeting. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.